Okay guys, listen, I'm not that bad at frosting things. Okay, maybe I am. So what's wrong with frosting? I'll tell you what, it's these things, they're garbage and they suck. Squeeze too much comes out. Squeeze too little, not enough comes out. Sometimes they even get these little air bubbles and then you get an inconsistent line. Garbage! I'm telling you what, that's why my last cake looked so bad. I'm telling you now. So I'm gonna build like a frosting pushing device that dispenses frosting at a constant rate, and it just is gonna make it so much easier. It's not user error, I'm telling you, it's device error. So my first thought was to use an air compressor hooked up to a tube with frosting in it and just push it out. But I decided that wouldn't work that well. I was worried about getting an inconsistent push and creating a crazy amount of air bubbles. I then thought about syringes, and that seemed like a good idea. I could push a plunger using a motor at a constant speed to dispense the frosting. That seems like it'll work great. Let's do it. So I brought it over to CAD, and this is what I came up with. I have a tube with a plunger in it that's attached to this threaded rod. When the threaded rod is spun using this motor, it'll allow the plunger to travel in and out. But possibly my favorite part is that I mutilated a drill to get this. This is a trigger mechanism from inside a drill. This allows me to easily control the speed of the motor and the direction at the same time. Now I just gotta build it. Sounds easy enough. Why do I do this to myself? So what I thought was gonna be simple turned into a redesign. There were two main problems. The first being that this motor I use just doesn't have enough torque to move the plunger. To fix this, I'm putting this motor into a 40-to-1 gearbox, which should give it plenty of torque to make the motion. The second problem is the amount of compression on the plunger. I printed so many of these plungers, and it was just hard to get it just right. I tried double O-ring designs, single O-ring designs. What I settled on is a single O-ring design with just a fine-tuned amount of compression so it just can slide in and out easily. Given all of this, here's what I made. It's flawless. I mean, pull the trigger and frosting will come shooting out. Switch the direction and pull the trigger again, and the plunger will reset, allowing you to fill it with more frosting. I even made this tip so you could put any frosting tip you want on it. I mean, I think it's perfect, but I think it's time to go get real market data. So this is my mom, and my first test subject. She's a baking enthusiast, so I thought it'd be good to have her try out my device and see what she thinks. So here's the frosting device you'll be using today. So the way it works is you pull. So at this point, I started to explain to my mom how the device works so she could have a good grasp about it before using it. I then decided which nozzle she wanted to use so I could start to attach it to the nozzle that mounts on the frosting pusher.
Is this like actually sanitary though, son?
I'm not gonna say that it's food grade, but I'm also not gonna say that it's not food grade. Here's where I started to notice that we have a real problem. The frosting is really, really hard to load in the tube. You know, maybe I'll have it preloaded next time.
That may be a good idea.
Of course it's a good idea. What were you thinking, Sam? You dum-dum! Gosh darn it. Now that all the frosting was loaded, I attached the nozzle so we were all ready to go. So it might be harder to load than I thought, so. How dumb is this guy? There you go.
Duct tape.
We're back from our break.
Can I have a longer break for my hand?
No.
Now, how fast can I expect it to come out?
As fast as it does. And here's where I started to have a little bit of issues, but it was gonna be okay.
Sam! That was an air pocket! Oh, wait, two will go around.
At this point, I got the device working pretty well, and it was honestly frosting pretty good. And here's what the final cake looked like. So how would you say the device works?
It seems to come out fine. However, depending on the consistency and whether or not there's air pockets in there, it may come out fine. I would use it again if it was like a lot lighter.
Given this feedback, I'm gonna change absolutely nothing, and I'm just gonna bring it to a professional to see what they think of it. Wait, I don't know any professionals! So actually, we're gonna try it on a beginner, because I know beginners. Well, hey buddy, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
This is my friend Nathan. I told him he was coming over today to help me with the project, but I quickly told him to frost a cake, and here's what he did.
Can you tell that says Sam did it?
Wait, that's...
You said wait.
Yeah, I guess I do now. I do now. How's your experience?
I would say that was more fun than any way that I've ever decorated a cake before. More fun. Can I use the rest of it?
Go for it.
That comes out quick.
So as you can see, it worked flawlessly. The baking world is changed forever. For real though, thank you for watching if you've watched this long. Feel free to give it a like, comment, or subscribe. And once again, I'll see you in a month.